So if you've used Notion before, you've probably quit within like the first hour. That's what most people do because nobody tells them how to actually use the app. So what I'm going to do in the next few minutes is show you exactly the only concepts that you need to start understanding and using Notion without feeling overwhelmed. So my name is William. I'm the founder of Notionbase, and I want to help you organize your life, business, or both using this fantastic app that's Notion. So when you first open Notion, you will arrive on something similar to this, basically a blank page, which might be a little intimidating. Most people here will leave Notion saying, "What the fuck is this? What can I do with this app?" So my goal here is to make it crystal clear for you so you understand exactly what the app is and what you can do with it. So I want you to see Notion as a free-form content editor. So of course, it means that you will need to know some of the features to create anything in Notion because everything can be created from scratch and has to be created from scratch. So you can see it as some sort of a Lego builder. Basically, all that you build in Notion will be based on small bricks that you can assemble together and different bricks to create some sort of some text, some tables, anything that you can create in a simple text editor and more. So there are only four concepts really that you need to know to understand Notion and start using it to build your own systems. And these systems are pages, blocks, databases, and views. So pages are where your information lives, like this empty new page right here. But you've also got blocks, which are the building pieces of your workspace, the small bricks that I mentioned previously that allow you to create anything in Notion. Then you've got databases that allow you to organize information in a more structured way with more data and more entries. And finally, you've got views, which allows you to create and see this data in different ways. So let's say I want to create some simple text in this page. I can just click on the page first and type in some text. If I click on it, I can also add some formatting to it. So put the text in bold, italicize it. So this is just pure simple markdown. I can also change the text color. And this basically is the most simple block that you can have, which is a text block, but it can also be turned into other types of blocks. So here, if I hover over the text, I can turn I can turn the text into a lot of different other blocks, and you can spot your blocks within your pages using this little icon on the left side, which is basically a way to. So you've got a plus button here, which allows you to create a block below out of a huge list of not only basic blocks, including text, bulleted lists, but also tables and all sorts of medias, and also databases. So databases are also a type of blocks. Basically, anything that you create in Notion is a block. But let's say you want to add a table, for example, you can also drag and drop your blocks on top of each other or on the side, which will create automatically different columns. So this is all that you can do with blocks. Depending on the type of block that you selected, the menu will be slightly different. Here, as you can see, by clicking on the six dots next to the block, another menu opens with um, different options. But the simple ones are usually allow you to turn the block into another block and also change the color, so either the text color or the background color. So now I don't want to overwhelm you with too much data. What we're going to do is create a little system that will use these four concepts. So pages, blocks, databases, and views. So we're going to create a simple task manager, which is one of the most common use cases that you can use in Notion to sort your tasks. So let's first start by creating a new page. To do so, I can go into the sidebar to open it here. And to create a new page, I can either, as you can see, I've already got different pages in this workspace, including subpages. So if you have a page within another page, it's called a subpage. And if you want to create a new page, you can just click on the plus button here, add a page. As you can see, a new page has been created. Then you can, of course, add a title to your page, a cover, an icon. But what matters for us is to add specific blocks for the task manager. Here you have two options. Either click this button like we've seen before, which will open this this menu to create to add new blocks, or you can also use the slash feature like this, and we're going to select to-do list, which is a simple checkbox on next to which you can also add some text and format it the same way as any other text. But here the difference is that when you click on it, you can check or uncheck the box depending on whether you've done the task or not. You can also go to the next line and it will automatically duplicate the block type. So as you can see, I've got the second to-do list block now. I can say example task 2, and I can also nest it within, I can nest X blocks within the other. So this one becomes a sort of subtask of the first one. So this is the simplest way of creating a task manager in Notion. Basically, you just create a new page, you add some to-do list blocks, and that's it. You can already stop here if you like. If you've got a very simple to-do list that you want to take care of, this is the easiest way to do it. However, now we're going to move on to databases, which allow you to create a lot more tasks and sort them and filter them more easily. So to create a database, the same way as a page, I can either click here, add a page, and select the database option at the bottom of the page, or directly click from the sidebar on this little icon here and select database. This will open up a new empty database, which basically, like I told you previously, allows you to create different tasks. So each new page will be on a new line and will be a new task. Let's say task 1, can create a new page, task 2, and so on. And the properties will be the columns. So what is a property? Basically, a property, if I click on it, there's a lot of different types that will be they will have specific values depending on associated with each specific page in your database. So let me show you an example. Let's say in the task manager, we're going to need different types of properties, but especially two, which are status, depending on whether your task is started, in progress, or finished, and also a date, which I can also rename to date like this. If you want to change the options of these properties, you can just click on the property itself. For example, for the status property, click edit property. And here I can add, for example, other options than the default ones. Let's say you want to have a canceled option for your tasks. Then if I click on it, I can also change the color, rearrange it to put it last. And now whenever I create a new task, let's say task 3, I can change the status here to in progress, done, or even canceled. And I can also change the due date. So always in the table view, click on the cell associated with the page. So of course this cell is associated with task 1. And if I click on it and select 17th of July, then this is the new due date for this task. And we've seen what pages were previously. Each of these lines, like I said, is also a page. So you can open it this way by clicking open inside peek. And now you just got a similar page to what we had before, but also with the properties that we created under the title. So you can see what the properties are for this specific, property values are for this specific page. So now you can already use the database as it is. It is functional. Just add a new page for a new task, and that's it. Change the status when you want it, and add a new date if you need. But we can take it a step further, because sometimes of course, when you have a to-do list, you will be completing your tasks over time, and you might not want to display them all the time in your database, or at least not in this view. So what you can do is go next to the table view here and click add a new view. Here also there is a lot of different views that you can choose from, but let's say I want to pick list, which is a very simple one, and click done here for now. So as you can see, the layout changed. The pages are the same, so it still contains my 4 pages, task 1, 2, 3, and let me rename this one task 4. But the layout is slightly different. What I can do here is rename the view. Say I can say these are the completed tasks. And now what I can do is click on the filter button here, filter by status. So you can filter your data by a specific property. And if I select status, I can decide to display only the pages which are and the task which are complete. So by clicking on this button, as you can see, I can only see the pages which are for which the status value is either done or cancelled. Now there are other options that I can do. I can duplicate this view and say I can change the name to to-do list, for example. And here what we want to do is the opposite. So have the pages that show up only that don't have that are not yet complete. So for which the status is to do or in progress and not complete. Another way to do it is say is not and click on that and say is not yet done or cancelled. And as you can see already, we've got our main table with all our pages, all our tasks. If you ever need to have a wide and broad view of your tasks, and then you can go to your to-do list to say what is left for me to do. You can decide to even show some other properties. Let's say you want to show the due date like this. You can even decide to sort the pages by due date. So let's say I want to put the due date, the shortest, rather the due date that's coming up soon first. So what I'm going to do is put due date descending. I need to put a due date for each of these pages. And as you can see now, the actually it should be the opposite way. Exactly, due date ascending, and now this is the task for which the due date is the closest one to today. And we could do the same for a completed task, and then you can also play around with the different views. But just keep in mind that the views are only here to help you see the same information, same pages, but in different ways, depending on your needs. And so once that's done, basically you have a functional task manager, but you can use that for any system that you want to create in Notion. The first step is to understand what pages are, what blocks are. Start experimenting with the very simple blocks, so including the bulleted list, but also the to-do list and headings and all that. And once you feel a little more comfortable, try to use databases because they're very, very useful to create pages that not only that you can filter and sort. And this is where Notion starts being really useful because you can organize your data properly. So before I conclude this video, I just want to talk about the 4 biggest mistakes I see beginners do when they get started with Notion. And mistake number 1 is trying to build your dream workspace from day one. This is not going to happen. Your workspace is meant to evolve over time. You will have new ideas, new way to sort your data, new things that you need to sort. You don't even know all the use cases that you want to use Notion for yet. So don't try to build a perfect system at first. Just experiment a little bit with your with what you know. Try to understand the features, and over time, your workspace will create itself. Mistake number 2 is focusing too much on aesthetics instead of functionality. So this is a big one. there's a lot of customization options in Notion, whether that's cover, emojis, colors, whatever. You can even add widgets to it. But this doesn't really matter if what you create does not help you solve your issue, whether it's for work or life. You need something functional first, and then you can add some more fancy. Mistake number 3 is creating too many databases. So we've just seen what databases are. It's very tempting to create a lot of them to organize anything in your life, but some are meaningful and some are really useless to create. At some point, you'll see that you can also link databases together. So you might be tempted to create a lot of them and do some sort of ultra complex setup. But most of the time, this is not useful. You just need the basic ones that you need for your main topics to organize, whether that's tasks or notes, um, and go from there. And mistake number 4 is one of the biggest ones, is procrastinating even in Notion, basically watching hundreds of tutorials before even getting started, trying to build something. All I can say is basically in this video, I've tried to show you the most basic concepts in Notion that you will need anywhere. And already with these 4 concepts, pages, blocks, databases, and views, you can create almost anything. So just get started. You don't need to know all the blocks, all the views, or even all the properties in those databases. You will figure it out as you go along. But for now, you need to get started and start building. Don't try to master everything today. Try and start building. Use whatever you've created for a week, then add tweaks if you want and improve it over time. And you'll see how Notion can truly transform your life, your business, or both. And if you'd like me to guide you step by step to learn Notion and start creating your own systems, I've created a free 5-day Notion Mastery Challenge, which you'll find in this video's description.